All right, everyone. Let's get started. So welcome to February's Master Series, the first of the new calendar year. Looking forward to today's conversation. It's going to be around modern app development and the use of Copilot and AI to accomplish that. Wanted to kick things off by kind of just giving a brief reminder of exactly what the Master Series is all about. We're intended to be a an education series that really focuses on topics surrounding the Power Platform and Copilot. It's designed for Power Platform enthusiasts, any sort of app makers or citizen developers, administrators, or anybody that's just dipping their toes into the water. We try to accomplish just once a month, and we do our best to make these virtual Teams webinars, although I'm in the process of working something out to have a hybrid event based at the Houston MTC for the month of April. So keep an eye out in your inbox for that. And we want to do it to make sure that we are both educating and learning at the same time. We want to understand exactly how you guys are interested in using the Power Platform, what tools are important to you, and how we can help facilitate and assist through your journey through the platform. So without further ado, I want to hand things over to Nico. Nico's going to be our presenter today. Nico, I'm gonna hand it over to you from here on out.
Super. Thank you very much, Jeff. Hello, everyone. So today we have an hour together to discuss modern app development using artificial intelligence and essentially leveraging Power Platform for that. So agenda for us, take really like 20,000 foot level, what is Power Platform? And then from there, discuss how can Power Platform help us reduce our IT technical debt in our department. And from there, innovating fast with Power Platform. So we'll touch on two use cases, one for GenAI for automation. So we'll go into a demo and we'll explore object detection with Florence as a service and GPT-3 and Feed2 deploy on Azure AI, with Azure AI Studio. Then we'll touch on Copilot Studio for GenAI chat example and then finish with the customer examples. Voila. With not further ado, let's dive in. So at Microsoft, we are a mission company. Our mission is to empower others. And that's declined into two things: empower every person and every organization on the planet. So if we take a step back and thinking about if I'm a technology company and my job is to empower others, is to give power to others, right? They don't have to take it. What would I call that product, right? That is Microsoft Power Platform. Every person and every citizen. So every person, think about the citizen developer program. So that rides on the spirit of saying that every company is an IT company, and how could we empower our traditional non-IT associates to build applications? And how could we do that in a properly governed way that even that governance become almost a proactive innovation engine for the IT department? And then you have Power Platform for every organization, and that's the IT folks, that's the IT department. How do we empower internal IT team with a true business development application framework, so they don't have to do the dredge work when they code, and they can just focus on their IP particular for their organization and their industry. Timing-wise, when folks start using Power Platform for citizen development program, it's change management in the organization. So we have to appreciate and respect that. It's usually 6 months to a 3-year program. IT department, I mean, if we continue the meeting now and then keep brainstorming on an application, next week we can definitely have it live in production. So today we'll focus on Power Platform, empowering IT organization. How much does it cost? That's the first question I think everybody has in his mind. So the first, what are the key bricks you're going to find in Power Platform? The main big brick is Power App. Think of it almost as Excel, giving an Excel license to all of your associates. I can build an Excel spreadsheet. I can be very good at Excel, but if I want to pass it to my colleague Jeff, he doesn't need to be good at Excel, but he will need an Excel license to run whatever spreadsheet I've built. Same spirit with an app. IT can build an app. I can build an app, but no matter if you didn't build or not, you're gonna need an app per user. So this is your main chunk. Think about it. Then come Power Automate. So from there, we can call Power Automate, no problem. But here, we're thinking truly automation. I'm thinking I have an automation bot to extract data from my invoice and put that in my financial system. That is just a straight automation bot that wakes up when an email arrives or something happens somewhere else. So that is Power Automate, and that is license per automation bot. Should I want to expose my invoice or any kind of data to third-party business, I'll use Power Pages. Think of it as Power Pages. I can crack up a almost pixel-perfect website in no time. And as well, in there, I'll have full portal logging to manage my customers coming in and checking in their invoice. And that's price per visitor per month. And that's tracked at the tenant level. And the last big brick in the Power Platform is Copilot Studio. So obviously, if you've played with the Copilot M365 or other Copilots, you can also spin up, and we'll touch later, your own Copilot. When you do so, you use Copilot Studio and track at the tenant level. You will deploy your bot to your users. So those are the four main key bricks of the platform. I leave Power BI on the side on purpose. Two add-ons to that is when you get Power Apps or automation, you get some entity for Dataverse, which is our database Dataverse. You get some Dataverse credit along with some AI Builder credit, and we touch on that. So you should have enough to start. But at some point you may like, oh, maybe I need more Dataverse or I need more AI Builder. So those functions more as an add-on type thing, right? And then we'll have also 1,000 connectors, managed environment that are coming just out of the box the minute you purchase one of those. And PowerFX is no more than, if you very good at Excel formulas, that is kind of think of it as a language that you would find across the platform to develop the app. So that's the license, that's the product that we are going to talk about today. What are we addressing? So think of it as my enterprise IT stack today, right? So I'll have a CRM to manage my customers, a financial system, if I needed a supply chain system, human capital, and so on, and some whatever homegrown build for my own industries. And I can do homegrown, but I can also go shop on the market, right? It could be a Salesforce, a SAP, or Oracle, or hopefully a D365 Dynamics CRM. And then after that, I do have like plenty of kind of custom databases, right? DB2, SQL, Oracle, you name it. And then a lot of time, SharePoint. Like I've seen a lot of ITs that SharePoint do use SharePoint as a database, which is not good at all. And at time as well, may still have some access deployed in some IT departments. And then in IT as well, something that we do not talk about is Excel. Excel is used in many business processes by non-IT users, almost as a database in many processes. So those are like type of processes that are very important, but not important enough to have the luxury to have their own app to be deployed. So the user don't find whatever they need here, so start managing their data in Excel. And that is bad. We don't want that, to an extent too much. And now, all IT department is faced with, hey, I want to infuse AI everywhere, right? So where do we start? So first start is let's understand the lay of the ground, right? Let's put a Power BI Microsoft Fabric on top of that tech stack, on top of that data stack, and really understand, have a true 365 real-time view of my enterprise data. So I'll have the view here, right? I can crack up super executive reports and AI analysis and forecasting and what have you. What I'm missing here is the pure execution, bringing the user in the loop, right? Or if I want AI to make a decision, I do not have that in that framework. Here, I'm just analyzing and reporting. So let's discuss, let's have fun for a minute and build a new AI applications with our users. Users is coming in, can we have AI help with my PDF invoice? So absolutely, this is a fun project. Let's look at if GPT can extract the data from my PDF invoice. So we start brainstorming with the user, but very quickly the user is coming in and telling me, but wait a minute, what about the customer portal that we've been talking about to expose my invoice? Is that part of that project? And then it's going to come, and by the way, I need some reporting capabilities in that app, whatever app you're going to crack for me. And then 3 weeks later, I was going to say, by the way, I don't need that field. I wish you could, you don't need, I don't need that field, but I need another one to be added in the database and in the screen. And the list goes on. I need to export this data to Excel and even update it in Excel. I need to deploy. I found a bug. Can you fix it and deploy it in no time back to production? Business layer data security. Hey, I need, by the way, I need only my folks in the US can see the invoice they are attached to. All the folks that are attached in Europe, they may work out of the same table, but they should not have access to that data, right? And so on. I need audit capabilities for that record. Who changed what and when? I need to attach a PDF, and I go on and I go on and I go on. Where I'm going there is we started with, okay, let's innovate. And then all of a sudden, we are not tackling the backlog, but more importantly, this is all IT business application dredge work we are doing. Those are like all common user problem in IT. And that's what we are addressing with Power Platform in IT. What we are effectively doing is, if you plot that against an agenda for the week, is that time that the IT folks used to do to innovate, and then all that was like dredge work, we put that innovation back in the time of the IT people. And now once you build your app, and slowly, as you migrate, you build your app, slowly you'll start retiring and moving those kind of homegrown leaking databases in a true solid business application framework where you can not only reduce tech debt, but also innovate it fast. So that's the vision. Now, talking about AI, there's different way and different flavor to bring AI in the tech stack. Power Platform do have plenty of AI, and we'll cover that. But where I'm going to go there is Power Platform is also not only a great tool to reduce IT debt, but it's also a great tool to infuse AI at a fast pace in your tech stack, and no matter what your AI may be. It's a heavy slide, so we're going to clear it. We're going to start from the left, and then we're going to work our way up to the right, right? And then all we're trying to articulate here is the AI builder user experience, the AI developer user experience, right? So when I'm looking and when I'm an AI developer and I'm looking at, okay, what's available out on the market, I can go open source AI, but then I'll have to bring my own compute. I can go model as a service, right? And then this is like pay as you go API, or I could go with Microsoft Power Platform. Same AI is just like instead of bringing your compute API, you're just consuming AI credit that are coming with your Power App user, right? Now, what's happening is here, open source AI, when we say that, we're thinking about the Hugging Face or the Azure model catalog for enterprise of the world. Here, I have about 500,000 models available to choose. And when you go pay as you go, we're thinking OpenAI on Azure, we're thinking, Llama 2 or Llama 2 on Azure and Mistral and even Google Gemini. These are the type of model that are deployed that you pay every time you use it, you pay an API. And then when we get to here, we call AI Builder in Power Platform. It's about 20 models. It's like the selection of the chef, right? You'll find GPT-3 models to automate, right? You'll find the latest object detection models, right? But you'll not find everything, right? And so the thing is here, I'll be able to, change the system prompt, change the parameter, access fine-tuning, even fine-tuning through API, right? On the flip side here, today, I would not be able to access the system prompt, and it's changing. But today in Power Platform, typically you cannot. Today, same thing, and it may change, but today in Power Platform, you cannot do fine-tuning. But with that said, the AI, especially like this is great to deploy that for citizen developer because the AI is super powerful, but as well very good AI safety. And I would argue sometimes a little bit too good, right? So you look at OpenAI, OpenAI, you're going to have very good AI safety. But then as you start going out of OpenAI and Llama 2 and some of those other models, like good luck, with AI safety. And then same goes with the security, right? If I want to deploy, if I want to connect to my enterprise data, well, here it's almost like custom development, right? For if I want to do professional development in Power Platform, this is out of the box. How do I chain all of those models? Prompt chaining, so we could use the LangChain, the Zapier, and then feel free to mix and match. But like a tool like Power Automate is a terrific tool to orchestrate and chain your models. Last before the last, user in a loop. It is more important than ever to keep the user, to bring your user when you are designing automation flow. With tools like Power App, this is out of the box. It takes no time to bring the user in a loop, ask him to review something in Teams, and voila, where in the other, it would take more time. So typically time to value, we're looking here, it could be just a matter of days and, weeks, technically. And then after that, it's like weeks, month, or even like some of those projects that goes, on fine tuning. Some are successful and some you never see any kind of value out of that. So point being is there is not a good way or a bad way to do AI. There is a start, we start simple, and then as we don't find, we can just do mix and match. Let's get into an example. So AI example, object detection. So this is from a customer. They came to us and they had a problem, and they are a transportation company, and they asked their driver to take pictures of the delivery. And then if the delivery includes stairs, because they carry stuff on the stairs, they pay the driver more, right? So they tried the traditional AI object detection models, and then we are getting a lot of false positive. So the image on the right it's properly detecting a staircase, but here there are a lot of false positive where like treadmills, where you could see the model is could confuse those bar here, and then model was confusing a lot the pallets as well. A lot of pallets were showing up at stairs. So we brainstorm with them, and what we prototype we put with them is to do object detection. So in object detection, leveraging only large language model. So to do that, we'll take an image, and then we'll use the Florence vision model, which is one of the Microsoft latest vision to text model, and is available as a service on the Azure AI Vision. So we'll take an image, feed Florence, and then from there we'll get text, image captions. And then from there, take the captions and then just prompt a good old text-to-text LLM. And we'll text those captions, and then we'll prompt 2 LLM. One will be GPT 3.5, the one available in Power Platform, because now GPT 3.5 is very, Surface. I don't need to deploy. I can use the one in Power Platform. But then for Phi2 being the small language model from Microsoft, like almost showing equivalence of GPT-3 at like 50 to 100 times less parameters. So for that one is not available as a service. As a service today. That one we'll have to we'll go on Azure AI and deploy our own. All right, let's go into the demo. For the demo, I first want to show you the AI we're going to use. So first, we're going to go to Azure AI Vision Studio. When you go in that, man, when you go, hopefully after the meeting, you're going to find a lot of features. So think of it, it's like one API that you can put all of those features as the parameters, and then put an image and put all of those features, which feature you want or not, and then the API respond to whatever the captions or whatever. So the one we want to use is add dense caption to images. We're going to try it out. That's Florence Surface on Azure AI Vision. Now, here are a couple of examples. So if I take an image here, and then you can try with your own image, you can see the model is coming back up with up to 10 captions per images. A woman wearing a mask sitting at a table with a laptop. That's just the playground, right? But we can see what the JSON in the backend looks like. So I have you can see that the text box and what the text box coordinate is and what is the text. Right? So we'll use we're not even going to mess around. We're just going to take that JSON, take it in the prompt and ask if, a woman wearing a mask is in the picture. Okay, so that's our first model. When we have that JSON, we'll go to, well, I'm not going to show you OpenAI on Azure, but I'm going to show you Phi, because Phi, this is kind of cool. So this is Azure AI Studio, right? This is just in preview. I like to think of it as the Hugging Face for enterprise. So I have deployed my Phi2 project. So before I go to my Phi2 project, I want to show you Explore. Remember when I was saying, there are like so many catalogs, so many models available to choose from? So this is all the models that are available. So, obviously we have, the popular ones, OpenAI, Llama 2. And then if I type Phi2, just one Phi. Okay, this is Phi2 here. That's the one we are going to use today. So you just go Phi2 and then, deploy. And then should you want to deploy it, you can even nowadays deploy it almost as a real-time endpoint. So I have just to show you, and then once you do that, you just go to build, deployment, and then here is my Phi2 deployment with my endpoint and my primary key that I can use and go put that in my flow. Okay, so that's the AI this is not Power Platform. All of that show here. This is just the pure AI from Azure AI. Now let's go build our app in Power Platform. So this is Power Platform, Power App in Power Platform. First thing first is check out your environment. So think of it as your environment could be an environment for dev. Every developer has a dev, and then you have a QA and a prod environment. So here I'm Turtle. That's my dev environment. From there you have solutions. So solutions are bundles of Power App, Dataverse, flows, and so on. So think of it, solutions is addressing a business problem or something we are solving. So here just call it, instead of Florence or Phi, just call it we had to give it a name, so we called it Florence. In that solution, I only have one table. We call it the detect table. So that detect table, this is where I'm going to upload a picture, and when the status change, I'm just going to start processing the picture, and updating the output. But let's look at Dataverse. So every table has a column. I'm going to add a column, sort by. Every time you create a table, you have all of those tables that are already created for you, up to that one. So you'll get created by, created on, modified by. So all of those, again, dredge work. Every time I create a business application table, those should be good leading practice to add all of those columns to the table. Do we do it all the time when we build a prototype? Absolutely not. But Power Platform, you do that in no time. And then after that, so that all of those tables, all of those columns come out of the box, and then I created all actual columns. So you'll have we created the name of the picture, which object to detect. So that's okay. The text. Human, so that means is the object is in a picture. What is the output of AI Builder? What is the log of AI Builder? Same thing for V2. Here is picture. That is the actual name of the picture. Picture name is the actual name of the picture. And here, remember on my table, it is just straight a file. It is a picture. So at my record level, I can attach a picture. I don't have to create a blob or blah, 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 blah. So that's all there for me, right? So that's the columns. When I have the columns, I can go to views. So views, I can create as many views as I want on the table, right? So we're going to just create one here. But so why I'm saying that is because you may have a view for the data scientist team, and you for the data scientist team, and you may have a view for your user, right? So here in that view, and it's just click, I say, all right, I want to pick your name, which object is it to detect, and then this is the output. And we'll go in the flow in a minute, but this is the output of P2, this is the output of GPT, is it processed, and when was it modified? But if I want to just add quickly a field, what did the human say? I can just write it, save and publish, and then it will pop up in the app. This is for viewing record views. Now, when I have my view, I need to edit my record, right? So that's a form. So we are still, so you start saying this is not more than a database. Huh? We start doing UI here, right? So it's that's why it's called Dataverse and not database, right? Because we are embedded not only the UX but many other things in the database. So let me go into the view, the form. And the same thing here, we are just updating the form to edit the record. And it is just like literally drag and drop. It sounds simple, it is, right? And then you can really push, the sky is the limit on what you can do with this type of user experience. All right. The flow. Let's go into the flow because this is important. So think of it, this is Power Automate. Think of it as my machine learning pipeline. Right? For any data scientist in a call, it is what it is. So I'm going to edit my flow. So every flow comes with a trigger. So that flow trigger when something is modified on the detect table. And we're going to filter that row to say, oh, when the status is equal to be processed, that's when we want to trigger. So that's our trigger. That's how when we trigger the flow. initialize couple of variable, and then we update here just the status to the status of a record to say, hey, sure, we got you. We are starting to processing the record. So we just update the status to processing. From there, we download the picture from the record, save that picture into a blob, and then here ping my Florence Azure AI Vision. So this is the API where we just got in the playground, and then same thing with the subscription scheme, right? Parse that JSON, and even these two pages, this tape, we don't need it. But then come GPT prompting. So here I'm pinging on AI. I'm going to AI GPT 3.5 AI Builder. Respond in this JSON format, answer 0. So hopefully we get that answer, 0 or 1. This is the image. Only if object to detect is in the image, set answer to 1. If not, set it to 0. So that's for AI Builder. And then we do the same with V2 here. Oops, and I'm building the prompt here. Input. V2 prompt is a little bit different, and I can talk about it. It's a little bit different than GPT-3. But in spirit, it's the same. Put output in this JSON format. This is the image. Only if is in the image, set answer to 1, or if not to 0. And then here we see we start starting the answer. We start writing the answer. We even helping the model, because V2 it's a little bit different. When we got all of that, is it a false positive, is it false negative? But at the end of the flow, we update the whole record. Right, so now because we build an app, we build the flow. So now we're gonna show the first, which we call the model-driven app. Think of it at full stack, back end, front end. I can see my app. This is my view, right? My picture name, which object to detect. Is it a true negative, a false positive, and so on. Right, so I have a lot of stairs here. That one is first because that one I was just struggled with that one. But here we have all of our stairs. And then even there, like after that, couple of, other fun project. That's just to test, because now what you're going to see is now we have two models that are plugged to kind of almost like we gave Google's to two models. We can play, almost like what type of concept do they understand? So that's model-driven app. In no time, crack up a business application, a solid business applications. I want to show you what others are doing with model-driven app. That's the type of things you can achieve with a model-driven app, right? Here is just Dynamics 3 CRM. So that's like, we call it the most famous power app of all. But that thing is deployed in 60 countries, in 40 languages. And then even to build that screen, it sounds fancy, but it is not that hard, right? Now, go back into the demo. Oops. Where am I? Here. If for those who pay attention, there is another app, right? It's called a Canvas app. So when you start digging into Power Platform and then you want to stick digging with Power App, start with model-driven app. But at times you're like, well, there are some stuff for that particular business process. I would like just the user to just do something. I don't need that whole app, right? So that's where Canvas app comes in. Think of it as Canvas app. We are putting lipstick on the ping. It is just front-end development. So if you are a front-end developer, you don't need to watch the next 5 minutes. If not, and you can be in IT department and not be a front-end developer, we can build a Canvas app together. What was happened is like, often you do like, especially in data science, you need to build your user in the loop. So here I don't have any user. So here I was, I was looking at it as like I was the user, right? So it would be nice if I can have an app where I can just walk around the house and then just take pictures, and then it tells me if it's a and I ask the object to detect, and it just gives me the answer, right? So I just build a Canvas app. So Canvas app where it's a little bit more like think of it PowerPoint, right? If you guys, if you're pretty good at putting a good PowerPoint together, then you will understand. You're pretty good at Canvas app, and all of those data here is actually straight connected to my Dataverse table, right? So here I'm just displaying a gallery, and then I'm just filtering with the just filtering if here or here, right? But when you play that app, you get all of your answer here. And I can just search for stair. And then here I'm searching in the object to be detected. And then you can see like for the data, for the 120 records I have, 97% accuracy with GPT-3 and 95% accuracy with Phi2. And then I can even just look up, and then who are just the false one. If I can, as I'm, think about, I'm outside, right? So or wherever working, I can look up what does AR vision dense caption is, and then just take another picture and kind of push the model, right, to an extent. So just to show you, so this app was just for me to kind of experience and push vision with those models. But when you are with your end users and you are trying to, I don't know, detect a defect in your manufacturing plants, and then you need pictures from your users, as a data science team, it takes no time to build this type of app that's user intuitive, and even though you may not have a front-end developer at your disposal. Now, we talk about stairs, but I told you guys that I was playing with a couple of other pictures. So let me show you a couple of cool use cases. Because now, so this is my car, 2003 Toyota Camry, right? And I just took a picture with the app, and then getting the dense caption, a car parked in a driveway, a group of trees in the sky. Okay, detect the car. So Phi and GPT-3, all good. Okay, now detect a bike, because they can say yes, but can they say no, right? Good. So there is no bike in the picture. They actually detect that there is no bike. Now, there is no notion of automobile in a picture. So now if you ask them to detect automobile, even though if you look at the dense caption, there are no notion of automobile, you could, I don't know, but I don't know how that works, but I could argue like they have an understanding of what the concept of automobile. So then I start going around the house, right? Detect an animal. We don't have animal here, but those guys understand that a dog, we do have a dog, is an animal. Those guys understand food, right? If I put banana, mangoes, those are like in the description. They are not, but the food is not in the description. So look, walking around the house, now I have food. Do I have cooking tools, right? So taking a picture of my stove, you can start sensing they are, and Phi2 is, I've not fine-tuned Phi2 anything. So I'm sure we can fine-tune Phi2 to get better output, but you can sense out of the box, at least, that the GPT-3 may understand the concept of cooking tools, but not Phi2. And then you can keep going like sharp, There is no notion of sharp in there, where GPT-3 will tell you that's sharp, GPT-3 will tell you not. The one that broke my heart with my French accent is when I plugged that picture, and there is no mention of a winner here, but there is mention of someone holding a trophy. And GPT agreed with me that this was a winner where Phi2 didn't. So that concludes the demo for object detection with Azure AI on Power Platform. I'm going to spend the last 15 minutes to discuss about chat and generative AI around chat, because here we talk about generative AI for automation, but chat is a big deal. And for that, I'm going to bring Copilot. if you have watched the Super Bowl, we got super lucky to have a Copilot ad in the fourth quarter. If you not watch it, we'll put it in the chat. It's a super cool ad. It's quite feeling empowering. Now you may ask yourself, how many Copilots? Where should I go? Where should I start? So start with the Copilot on the Apple Store. Make yourself a favor, download Copilot just for yourself. Now, from an enterprise perspective, you get that Copilot, and then you may get also the Copilot for M365 and the Copilot for C and the Copilot for that. Key message is choose your Copilot. It depends on the context, right? If I am driving a plane, or if I'm flying a plane or driving a car, I'm going to hire very good Copilots, but they're going to have different experience and they're going to be dressed differently, right? So your Copilot depends on the context. Today we are far from one Copilot chuck all the ask from the users. And that translates today in the Microsoft stack, right? When you think chat with GenAI, you'll start there, right? Chat with the web, right? With your Copilot for web. Then you get all the M365, all the Copilot part of the M365 suite, from PowerPoint, Word, and even in Teams on top of your email, calendar, and messages. That one in Teams is actually super interesting because not only it will get you knowledge on top of your Outlook and even SharePoint, you can also augment this Copilot with a tool that we call Microsoft Copilot Studio. So this one in Teams is this one that we can augment out of the box. But same thing, remember, Copilots are different, right? You don't want to use the same Copilot. So you may have a CRM system that you want to put a good chat generative AI app on top of it. And in Microsoft, we offer Sales Copilot that would connect to your D365, your Salesforce, or what have you. Same thing to help my services agent. We do have a services Copilot. And I stop there. So what if I want a Copilot on my website, right? What if my financial team would like to have a Copilot to help the supply chain team? So that's when you start, deploying your own and building your own enterprise Copilot. And that's what's important, because it looks like it's the last leg of the picture, but it's actually the simplest one. Trust me. Because you can really experiment here, just one or two use cases, take a little team, and then, make it a success, make it a small win, and you can start here. It doesn't have to be an enterprise, strategy change. You can just get up to speed and start spinning up your own custom Copilot. Example. Those are plenty of examples where, from customer service to finance, HR, IT, sales and marketing, people are deploying those type of Copilots. So it could be in Teams, right? But it could be your external website, could be your external website, your internal app, you name it. So we leave those slides, those are a couple of ideas and nuggets on, where you within the department, you can find value for those bots. But what is super important in this slide here is you have all of those thousands connector you can see here. So those bots, not only they can, chat, put it this way, they connect almost real time to all of those like SAP, Oracle, Workday, custom, you name it. What is key in conversational AI? Conversational AI is not generative AI. If you look at the field of conversational AI, it's like 10, 15 years old domain and even more, right? So what generative AI is impacting the field of conversational AI. So traditionally, you wanted to do a bot, what's going to happen is you're going to author a lot of topics got author a lot of conversation, and then a lot of time, and then you cannot author everything. So you try to author the one you can, and then the one you miss, you know, either you truly miss them, or no, if you handle it well, maybe pass it over to an agent. But those are like truly missed conversational opportunity. What we're doing by Boost with generative AI is we are able to take all of those topics that we have the luxury to be loose to an extent, right? Not saying loose, but if the things makes a mistake, it's okay, right? And then, then it doesn't mean that the last thing we want, and I've seen so many data scientists team made that error, is to try to take that model and expose it straight to the user. OpenAI, ChatGPT style, right? I think for business Copilot, you want to do that, kind of being your net, catch for all, and then you still need more than ever to author not so many, but a couple of key topics to orchestrate your dialogue. I'm going to go in a tool in 2 minutes. Here we go. So this is Copilot Studio. I built one bot for this morning, and I call it Pepe, right? Pepe for Power Platform. So hello, my name is Pepe, but everyone calls me PP. I'm a custom Copilot built with Microsoft Copilot Studio. My goal is to help you find answers to your Power Platform question. First thing first, you see I gave it a name, right? I gave it a persona. Today, on the Microsoft stack, if you look at the picture of all the Copilots available, you cannot give a persona to a chatbot. So the minute you need a chatbot with a persona for your organization or enterprise, it would have to be today, it would have to be a custom Copilot. So I call that Copilot Pepe. And then generative AI-wise, so my catch for all, you know, my safety net is, I just pointed it to learn.microsoft Power Platform. So now, every time I ask a question and I say, explain me Power Automate process license. See what we say. So here, hopefully, we're going to go back to that. The bot going to go back to that website and answer the question. The Power Automate process license is licensed per bot and allow you for unattended robotic process automation. Remember, it's good. It's per bot. The license is suitable for scenario where automation is required without the need for user interaction. Right, I'm catching everything. But now if I say all is Taylor Swift, I'm not sure. I don't know how to help with that. Can you try rephrasing? So this is cool, right? We just boost our bot with just purposely that knowledge. Same thing, you know. So here that's applied for your SharePoint, multiple SharePoint, documents, and so on. One comment, because this isn't put it on the topic, show you something is. So now I'm getting a bot. I'm getting the bot is answering me the question. I think, oh, that's great. So now I'm like, I'm not sure. I want to ask my my friend, the sales engineer. So I'm gonna trigger that particular topic, and I'm gonna grab the answer, asking any message, and at the end, I'm just gonna send automate. I have a Power Automate that's gonna just send an email to the user. So if I say if I say ask an engineer, here we go. We are not using generative AI here, at least. We are just triggering the topic and then start replying it here. So do you want to include a message? I say, yeah, hello, thank you. And here we go. The Power Automate kicks up. If I show you the flow, it is just a simple flow with a simple action that sends an email to whatever email with the text and a little message. That's just scratching the surface of Copilot Copilot Studio. There is much more to unpack. There are plenty of great videos online. Go check it out. One more thing for the data scientist, that was important here. In that, the way we are boosting, we are using generative AI, I would say almost the out of the box in low code in Copilot Studio. Now, what if you already have a chat model that you have deployed within your enterprise, or you are testing it, or what if you actually just want to deploy your own OpenAI or whatever chat? You don't have to use the low code, the generative AI we have in low code. You can just go add OpenAI service on your data. Where you at this point, it is you going straight to Azure AI, and then where you're going to meet, where the data scientists meet, and then bring it back straight in Copilot Studio. The trick here is this is, again, conversational AI boosted with generative AI. We are orchestrating the chat, right? Because from there, we'll have the analytics of my bot, and then more than that is the analytics of my bot, but I can also publish my bot, and where is it? Channel. Okay, here we go. I can publish my bot, like I said, in Teams. I can augment my bot in Microsoft. I can augment Microsoft Copilot, but I can also deploy that in Facebook, Skype, Slack, or even reach out to your user with text messages. That brings me to my last slide, because I think it's important to understand what our others are doing. So this is a great use case. I put the link in the deck. This is PMG. And PMG, they are deploying, there are plenty of use cases, but these guys are deploying Power Platform, and they are willing to speak up and say that they are saving almost $75 million annually. So in this article, they explain not only how much they save, but also how they are saving. So I would encourage everyone to take a look at it if you are interested in tools like Power Platform. But I think execute at a very high level, when you think 75 million annually, they have about 20,000 users, right? If you took that is way more than your traditional 10x payback. So companies out there are many others like that. Companies out there are seeing value of the platform for their citizen developer and their IT departments. Voilà, Jeff, I think I am 5 minutes done. I think I'm done, Jeff.
Yeah, great job, Nico. So we appreciate everybody joining. I think we've got a couple of poll questions that we wanted to put in there, just to kind of gauge everybody's. Well, I think we've got a good reaction already going on, but kind of see where everybody is in their AI journey and what sort of topics that we can sort of lean into for future sessions. David's posted the first one in the chat right now. And again, I appreciate everybody joining and participating in the poll. David, was there another question or a poll question that we want to put in before we kind of wrap up? Oh, perfect. So guys, again, this the Power Platform Master Series is really driven by the type of topics that you guys are interested in seeing. So if you've got a couple minutes, kind of take a look at some of those poll questions and let us know. Give us some feedback. We'll be happy to take it all into consideration and kind of adjust our topics along the way to make sure that we're providing content that's useful to you. Otherwise, the last thing that I would like to kind of mention at this point, we are finalizing presenters, but our next Master Series session It will be scheduled for Wednesday, March the 20th. And the plan is to kind of tackle anything around security and governance, and ways to leverage the Power Platform to make sure that we're implementing correctly. And then into April, again, still finalizing on presenters, but as I mentioned at the beginning of the session, we're looking at doing a hybrid. So if anybody happens to be in the Houston area, keep your eyes peeled for an invitation. We'd love to have you on site for both a free lunch and a great conversation around modern app development. So if there's no other questions or anything, keep looking for a link that will come out by the end of the week that will have access to the recording and access to Nico's presentation as well. And Katie, to answer your question, if you're still on the line, I will be posting a copy of the recording to the Power Platform Master Series YouTube channel as well.
Thank you very much. Great session.
Naveen, we're looking at, I'm going to try to finalize that session in Houston. Right now, I'm working on trying to get head count. It's either going to be Thursday, the 11th of April, or Wednesday, the 17th. Thanks again, everybody. Appreciate you joining.